Alright, we're going to lock it down there. It's a little fast. We're going to bring it on down to the low speed on the Bridgeport here. Even though that's bronze, there's no need to waste the cutter. Now we're going to come in and we're just going to touch the leading edge, and we're also eyeballing it, you know. We like to look at it to see if we are actually looking like we're in center, and it looks like it is in center. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to give it about 100 thousandths on the depth here. It's enough for a screwdriver, I believe. It's a little tiny bit of lube with the shoes. And you got yourself a pretty decent screwdriver slot. One of my air nozzles outside. There we go. Alright, we got the screwdriver slot in the head here, and we're going to take this to mount. This will go around the stanchion. We'll be pulling this apart and deburring this a little bit, but right now we just wanted to test this out here. Alright, so we got the two tangs, and this thing's supposed to spring from here to there. So put the spring in here, and we add the screw, and the slot was perfect for this screwdriver. This is like a 5/16 Craftsman. That's pretty good. It's almost like I don't have to adjust that. Click in. Of course, if this is held onto the rail, all you're doing is grabbing this bar right here. And you can see that the tangs, I can probably pull it out. I can give it about another 50 thousandths. Alright, onto a little button cap on the end, and the actual flat plate that comes out here with a hole in it that holds the barbecue. And then we're going to buff it up, and we're done. Alright, let's see, we haven't deburred or anything. Oh, it does fit right in there. That'll give a nice little rounded head to it. Kind of match the design of the rest of the bracket here. And the main thing on something on a boat is not to have any sharp edges to where you get stabbed or cut. So we're going to probably put a little radius on each end of the plate that comes off of here. And we're going to go cut that out now. saw cut this piece of bronze out here. We're putting it in the vise and we're squaring up the last two sides. Then we got one hole to drill and then we solder it on and we're all done with the part except for the buffing. That's about what you got to go through if you have 100 foot of octave 17 board on your torch there. You know what? If you don't really need it, don't put it there. Nice and uniform. I'm gonna let that cure there. Okay, we're gonna buff out the surfaces on the barbecue components there, the bronze pieces, and we're just taking that and clearing out the cloth of the mat of the wheel here. We're applying the rouge. Keep that there. Alright, and now we're just going to be, it's all labor and it's all pressure, and you just want to hold it, make sure it don't go flying out of your hand, and you can bring a luster from that to that. We've got all this roughed out with the Scotch-Brite and the 3M pads there, the cheap 3M pads. Really disappointed me this year in those.
deal and a real sale. So we look forward to.
Well, of course, making that barbecue holder was a couple weeks back, and it left out of here quite fast from the time that I actually had it done and testing it there in the vise, and all of a sudden the runner was here to pick it up and it was on its way down there. Now, the buffed out finish that I put in that was to create a smooth, uniform surface on the outside. Of course, you'll probably dip it into salt water, and it'll slowly, it probably won't take too long with a little bit of salt water on it to get the green patina that the rest of the boat has on it. And there's a lot of sailboats out there with a nice satin green bronze patina on all their rigging and their turnbuckles and their stanchions and all of that, and it really looks kind of cool. And I never did really get into too much more of the lathe. Now the tracer attachment, I have several videos that show that and actually how I set up on it down here. If you haven't seen those, I suggest doing that. I will come back and give a little bit more down the road as I use it again, especially if I get into internal spherical bearings and stuff like that. The gap that we can remove this part right here, the section right here, and run the faceplate. I do have the faceplate, so I have a couple other accessories there. I will put those videos together when the job comes up to validate that as well. And but pretty much I gave you a rundown at least on the head stock and the feeds and the threading so far on the between center 6 foot comfortably. A little bit larger than that, I can stretch it. 3 1/8 hole in the head stock. I've got the dog plate, the 3 jaw, the 4 jaw, and a faceplate. 20, 29, 28 inch faceplate I have that goes in here, almost a 30-inch faceplate. The motor on this lathe here also has the high and low speed, and that's what the little black lever is here. Not only forward and reverse on the motor, but also high and low on the speed. So that's where you pick up the extra, jumping from your 450 up to the 900. But you're going, hey, how do you get up to that 900? Well, you shift that motor into high speed, and that'll take you from the 450 up to the high end. But I don't normally run it on there. They're old style spur gears, and the thing is pretty noisy. And I have had to, even though I did the gamut bearings in the headstock, I did have to make every one of the other straight line bushing style bearings that they have in this thing. It is almost time to pull it apart and change out the rear seal. I am dripping a little bit of oil on it, but other than that, it's been a great machine and holding together for all these years. Get her done.